back. We are here. We are live. We are ready for donuts. Huzzah! Camera's facing the wrong way. Whoa, there we go. Hello. Why does the font look like that sometimes? I don't know. But we're here. We're here for the finale of donuts. I'm late. So I was making a bomb.com sandwich. Very happy. We got snackage. This is a momentous occasion. This is the end of Blender, at least for now. For now. We may come back to this in the far future and do an intermediate course with the Blender Guru because he offers that as well. But for now, I know enough to do anatomy. I think that's enough for now. Hello, how are we doing? Welcome on this wonderful Sunday evening, morning, or night. I have a lovely, delicious, healthy sandwich that might sound disgusting to most people, but we got some bread, and then on top of it, some fresh guac, and sitting on top of that is a little bit of fresh tomato with some cucumber and a delicious bit of sauteed mushrooms and some spinach with a big old juicy egg on top. I'm real happy right now. Sorry to put this in front of you because you can't have it right now. But of course you can take a bite. There you go. Welcome. I'm vegan, kind of. Vegan asterisk. But anyway, I thought I would hopefully have something to satiate me because we might be here a minute. The next tutorial is 30 minutes, but that's it. We're done after this. There's a little baby video after that's like 10 minutes long. It says finale, I don't know what that is. It might be a bonus, might be nothing. But we're here, and we're ready for the end of tutorials with Blender Guru. Alright, hopefully next week, not sure, but hopefully next week we'll get back to the anatomy. I might need a break in between to get some things ready, but we'll hopefully be here next week. And it'll be just Blender and anatomy. You'll see. So anyway, without further ado, thank you for the wonderful Animal Crossing vibes. Pause that goodness. Thank you. All right, Blender Guru, take it away.
We've got the donuts, we've got the animation. Now it's time to do our final lovely render.
And we'll not be rendering this.
We are rendering you.
Hold up. I should also say, I'm not going to be rendering this because if I know what's going to happen, I haven't seen this video yet, but I'm almost positive he's going to render this and time-lapse that whole entire process. If you've never used a 3D program before, rendering, depending on your computer, can take hours, sometimes days. So we're not going to be doing that on camera. I'm just going to hopefully prepare this, and we'll just look at the in-computer render of what we get. We're not going to be rendering this out. But yeah, go on.
Using the Cycles rendering engine, which, to jog your memory from the rendering video, the way it works is, turning off denoise, is it starts with a very noisy image with a low sample count, and then over time, you can see in the top left there, it throws more samples at it, and it refines that image to be cleaner and cleaner, essentially. So if we were to set this maximum sample count to a really absurdly low value, like say 10 samples, you can see it renders very quickly, right? It's done almost instantaneously, but it's so noisy that you can't see any of the detail. Now, there is the magical denoise function, which we will be using. However, that is not, it does solve a lot. It's definitely helpful.
It's very nice.
But it's not perfect, especially for animations.
It just
because
blurs
on
everything.
each frame, the sample variation, even though it's set to be stable, there will be variances frame to frame. So if you're using a low sample count, this AI denoiser, it will do its best, but it'll still have like splotchy patterns that will appear. And you can actually notice it if you go looking for it. Like the other day I was watching one of Mr. Beast's videos, and there was like an animation in it, and I was looking at it and I saw like all this splotchy
Why are you judging
stuff,
Mr.
like,
Beast?
on the sides, and I was like,
Calm down.
Damn, that team must be on like a really tight deadline because they did not have time to render out the
You shut up.
the proper
Rude.
samples. But
But
anyways,
he probably has the computer. He could
so
afford
I
it.
did a few tests for this exact scene here. You can see this is with 20 samples. You zoom into
Wow,
the
that's
background
very
there.
nice with
You
the
can see
denoising, yeah.
splotchiness. It's especially noticeable in out of focus areas, which I'll show you how to do that out of focusness soon.
I
But
already
you can
do
see it's
know how to
very
do
splotchy
that.
and you wouldn't ever want to use it.
At least I know
50
enough.
starts to look a little
Thanks to
more
you, Trust, and
stable,
helping me
but
troubleshoot.
still the splotchiness is very noticeable. You don't want that.
Check back in the
100,
previous episodes
this
to
is
see
where
that.
it's starting to look usable, but still not great. I wouldn't consider that good. 300 samples is where I consider the bare minimum for a scene like this. But ideally, you would be able to go up to 500 samples, which is where a lot of that splotchiness is so negligible that you don't really notice it. And if you have time or you don't mind rendering, overnight or something like that, or maybe a couple of overnights,
We appreciate you, good
1,000
sir.
samples will get you an even cleaner looking result.
Thank you for
So
rendering
for
this
my
at so many
max
different
sample
frame rates.
amount, I'm going to go with 500. And by the way, there is viewport and there is render, and these
see what that
settings
looks
are
like.
identical.
Is it gonna
I
break
was
everything?
tweaking viewport before because I was showing you in the viewport. But obviously, it's what's in the render settings, which is going to be saved into your final animation. There is also noise threshold, also known as adaptive sampling. And the way this works is it will try to look at the image and determine which areas are already clean enough, and then which areas need more samples, like dark areas where there's not enough light or something, and it'll throw more samples specifically into that area. And it's very efficient, and I would love to use it. Unfortunately, it doesn't play well with the denoiser. With the denoiser, it can create splotchy areas, which are not good, obviously. So if you're using the denoiser, which, let's face it, is probably 99% of the time, then you can't really use the noise threshold.
Not
At
really
least
noticing
as
a
far as I've
difference
seen,
here.
I haven't seen it work reliably
That's with my
enough.
camera
So
setting.
uncheck noise threshold. Samples, I went with
Get in here
500.
and see these
Try to go,
gelatinous
yeah, if
donuts
you're on a
up close.
laptop, maybe 300, but try to go
Okay.
up from there and you'll get a nice clean result. There's also time limit. I almost never use this, but this just puts like a cap on each frame. So if, I don't know, the samples was gonna take
nice
the
frame.
image to like
We'll look at that for a
25
while.
seconds to render, if you set your time limit to be 20 seconds, it would just stop at whatever sample count 20 seconds gives it, and then it would move on to the next frame. But
Also,
as I
correct me if I'm wrong, but Blender Guru, I don't think you went over this, but it's a very nice touch that he went and adjusted these donuts ever so slightly so they're not just a stack. They're kind of cozy up to each other. They're like falling into each other, which is a natural way donuts would rest. I was wondering if he was going to play with some physics or some hard, rigid bodies and soft bodies, but I guess we don't have time for that.
said, I almost never use it. I
Probably
just want to
manually
use the
adjusted that,
exact
which
sample
what a
count.
bunch of work that is.
Awesome. Now, you might remember
thanks.
previously that when you want to do a render, you go render image, or you hit F12, and then this will kick off a single still render. And then from here, if I wanted to
it's
save
not
this
something you
image, I
have,
would go
right?
image
It's just
save
in
as.
Blender.
Well, what we want to do is we want to render a sequence, like every single frame. And so to do that, we want to use not just render, but render animation.
Oh.
And when you do that, it will use and it will save the file for you in whatever you put in the output.
I don't want to click
settings
that
over
because
here.
it's going to make it happen.
So if we bring this
But
out over here,
let's see.
You can see your resolutions defined up there.
That's a very nice thing. It's so different. Render image versus render animation. Look at that. Let's type that in. It's F12 for render image. But most of the time, you're probably going to be rendering images and animations. Control F12. Render animation. Very intuitive, Blender. Makes all the shortcuts so much easier. Thank you.
You got your frame rate, yada yada. The output one here. So this is the folder where it's going to save the file to, and then your file format. Just move this up. This is a really important one. Now you would think that because we want to
Here we
create a
go.
video file, right, that you could upload to Instagram or YouTube or whatever.
No, you don't want to
that you would want
punch.
to use one of these movie settings, maybe an AVI
not
or
a
an
pun.
FFmpeg or something like that. But you would not. You would be wrong. But it's a common mistake a lot of beginners make.
You would be
the
wrong?
reason you don't want to ever render a scene directly into this format is that if at any point during the rendering process
yes.
the computer was to crash, or let's face it, Windows was to do
It's
another
awful.
update overnight, and you can never figure out when it's going to do it, and it just does it randomly, and anyways,
Little tips
if
you
it
pick
was
up
to do
on.
that, you would lose everything. Everything that you have rendered has
Yes.
just vanished because it will not have created any file that you can actually read. So instead, you always render to still images. Okay, so you want every single one of these frames
He's
to
absolutely
create
right about that.
a
I'll talk about that in a little
PNG
bit,
and then
man.
put it into the output folder there, which you will then later take that sequence of 300 PNG images, let's say, or it's 160 in this case, and then put that into another process, which I'll show you, to create.
Oh, you're going to show us in here?
File.
Are you going to use After Effects?
PNG is actually.
Hold up. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Oh, I can't tell. Oh, he is using After Effects. Maybe he is. I don't know. Okay, super fast. Guys, just a little rule of thumb. If you've never used a 3D product before, everything he absolutely just said is 1000% true. Do not, I repeat, do not, under any circumstances, render an animation as a video format because of the things he just said. I have had that happen to me on multiple occasions where I'll have something rendering overnight because it takes a long time. You usually let it just cook and your computer is breathing all of night. It's really loud and you can't really turn off your computer or let it sleep. It's just going to breathe. But at least that's the way I do it. Unless you have a render farm because you're crazy rich and you have like 3 PCs that are dedicated to that. Most of us don't. I do not. So you just leave your computer on and let it cook and bake. And the fans are really loud. But anyway, yeah, multiple times I'll be rendering a very chunky animation and then all of a sudden I wake up to hopefully see a finished render and it's like, it got 30 frames through 500 frames and it's just not usable. It's done. So a lot of times what you would use is, like he suggested, a .tiff file or a .png file or what's called a PNG sequence usually when you upload it to another program like say After Effects or Premiere or any of the other Adobe products usually recognizes that file as a sequence and you don't have to manually input every single picture. It'll just take that one picture and read the whole thing as a sequence, which is a lot easier to work with. And if you have one faulty frame, you can just go and render that one frame, which takes usually a lot less time than rendering the whole animation again. So don't do video format. Crystal's honor.
Pretty good for most cases. If you want to go a slightly higher quality, you could use TIFF. If you really know what you're doing, you could use OpenEXR. But the problem with that is that it will not use, it won't embed like a display transform in it, so it'll save it into linear format. Technical jargon just to say it's going to look terrible if you don't know what you're doing with it. So generally speaking, PNG or TIFF is the one you want. Never JPEG. The compression on that is terrible unless you're just throwing a still image up on Facebook or something. But PNG or
things
TIFF,
you don't know until you
color
experience
depth,
it. They don't tell you that.
8 or
You just
16
learn.
bits. 16 bits will give you a lot more range, but it will be larger files. Unless you're planning to do color grading in something like After Effects or Nuke or something, I wouldn't bother with 16-bit. 8 should be fine.
I want to learn that too.
So you set your output folder to be something that makes sense. I usually just create a folder called frames.
We're not doing any of this.
And then
We're just
within
learning.
here, I just create another subfolder. I call it like
You do this
one,
if you want to.
just because you almost always need to render multiple times. But anyways, you create a subfolder there called one. And then, yeah, I just kick off the render by going render animation. But before you do that, it is a good idea to check your scene to make sure that you haven't got any mistakes, because you're going to be rendering, and usually you're rendering overnight or maybe a sequence of days.
Yes.
And you don't want to have to go through the whole process
No.
of rendering only to bring it up and then go like, oh crap, I forgot to turn on that layer, or I forgot to fix that problem, or I didn't notice this
So
before
many
I did
hours
the render. And you
dedicated
have
to
to do the whole
pre-render
thing all over
before you
again.
hit render.
So here's a checklist. First, in solid view mode, click this little drop down next to your viewport overlays and then
Here's where all
go
the
face
notes.
orientation.
Whoa! What did you do? What button did you hit? Okay, hang on. We're gonna write this down. Checklist. Before you hit render. This is very good. This is very good. Most teachers should go over this. This is very good. 1. What?
Click this little drop
Ah, it's this button. And then what did you hit?
down next to your viewport overlays and then go face orientation. Now what this is showing you is which faces are facing the correct direction. So the face is the solid part of the mesh and it's like paper thin, right? But there is a correct direction and there is a wrong direction. So the correct direction is the direction that the camera and the shader expects to see, and it can render correctly. If it's showing you the opposite side of the face, it means that the shading is likely to get screwed up. So if you see anything in your scene that is red, it means that it is facing the wrong direction. Okay?
Got it! I have all of my donuts in red! things you should have told me in the very beginning, Blender Guru. Oh my god, that's so funny. Are we starting this entire scene over from scratch? Hell nah. But let's see. So hold on, he did. Hit the little the nodule that says show overlays. Okay. That's so funny. Alright. Typing all of this out because it helps my brain understand things. I am a notation learner as well as visual and hands-on. Hell yeah. Okay. Show overlays. Top right. Sorry, I gotta type all this out. It's probably really loud and annoying. And then, he did the face orientation. Drop down carrot from One Piece. Carrot. Okay. Right. Blue is good. Red is bad. Good to know. I have all of my main objects in my scene as red. Fantastic. I see nothing as blue, actually. That's great. I'm assuming that's wonderful. That's good for us. We're gonna make this work somehow. I do think at some point I would like to attempt this tutorial again with new forethought and knowledge of Blender when I'm a bit more of a pro, because we're going to be using Blender for the next year. So hopefully I'll be a little bit better off than where I am now. Okay, go on.
So in this case, it thought that the kitchen should be rendered outside, right? Because it was a cube that we started with, so it puts the faces outside it, because it didn't know that we want to render inside. So in this case, if you have a red face like this, you select it, select everything on the mesh just by tapping A, and then you want to hit Shift N, okay? Now that should fix it. If you have a red face like this, you select it, select everything on the mesh just by tapping A, and then you want to hit Shift N, okay? Now that should fix it. If it doesn't, because on the case you want to have it facing inwards, like in this case, this little recalculate normals box here, if you click that, you can then click the checkbox that says inside. Or
that
it's
didn't...
3:30 p.m. Let's go grab a glass of water. And why don't you go wash your hands?
Oh, I thank you. No, I'm good, actually. I see. I want to be in edit mode. Right. Shift N. That did nothing. Recalculate normals. Aha. Okay, for whatever reason, they're just not showing at all. So I guess blue would be showing in these situations, but they're not there. Interessante. Okay. If nothing is there, I'm assuming it's good. Blue is good. Blue or blank. Blank is good too. Okay. Good to know, good to know. Alright. So now, all of my donuts are bad. Can we fix this? Let's try. Icing is also bad. Icing is bad. Okay. Well, let's get in here. Oh yeah, also, to fix red, he said. Select planes in edit mode. Right. Literally phonetically saying all of my notes out loud. This is probably so great for you guys to hear. Then Shift N. If not solved, let's try this now. Wait. What on earth did he do? Then, okay, all of them are selected. I hit A, and then I go Shift N. And that fixed it, I think. If not solved, hit. Where's my checkbox? There it is. Got it. Oh, this is gonna be so helpful for somebody later who didn't have to do all of this. You're welcome. Again, go get all of my notes on my Patreon. They're only $3. You can see what I'm typing live right now. Anyway. Recalculate normals. That's a very handy tool. I'm so glad he's going over this. We're only on the first step. But actually, we're 10 minutes into this video. There may be hope for us yet. It may not take 3 more years to get through. We'll see. Lower left. Cool. Let's try that for all of these real quick. Did that fix it? Sure did. Great. Awesome. Then, give me this. Yeah. And yay! Oh, there's got to be a faster way to do this. Okay, hang on. Let's select all of them. Maybe that'll work. Hold up. I did it. Yeah, okay. Tab? Yes. Shift N. Woo! Okay, great. And the other ones should be a lot easier because it's a less dense mesh. Great. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tab. Shift N. Boom, baby. We got a clean scene. Let's go. Taboo. Yes. Alright. Oh, wait. No, my sprinklies are wrong now. No! Not my sprinklies. Hang on. We gotta fix the sprinklies. They're all red and kind of look like asbestos. Let's do that real quick. Taboo. No. Maybe do that. No. I wanted the sprinklies, but I guess that also works. Hang on. No. I don't want that. No. Is it this? No. 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 What are you? You're all of that. No, I just want the sprinklies. Oh, wait, maybe if I go into my sphere, way down here, perhaps that could be it. Let's get out of this for a second. That's probably really taxing. Oh my god! What am I looking at? Did I break Blender? I did not. Okay, cool. We can still see what we're looking at in a much easier place. Okay, let's look at my sphere. Yeah, there he is. That's the problem, child. No offense. Let's try that. Boom, boom. And if I get out of that, hiya. Yeah! I did it. That was probably really loud. Victory. Great. Is there any more red? Just on the outside. Great. Fantastic. We did it. Boom, baby. Cool. We fixed everything. Oh, no. Wait, no, we didn't. Wait a minute. Now I have black. Oh, no, I have poop on here. Oh, wait, no. No, it's just the dense. There we go. Okay, we're good. Also, I just realized I didn't turn on my keys, so you can't see what I'm typing. That should probably help. Wait. You'll be able to see them in just a moment. Let me put them over here. There we go. Alright. All of that you could not see, but we got through it. We did it. Yay. I was basically saying out loud what I was doing, so it's all good. Alright, how did we get to that screen again? That's right. Show overlays. Face orientation. On. Cool. I'm assuming there's a reason that I could not be able to see red? Oh, wait. Light colors? Nope, I guess not. Alright, good to know. Great. Alright, we're good. It looks totally exactly the same, but now it's not red and bad, so we're good. Continue.
Hotkey for it is Control-Shift-N, and that will do a recalculation inside. Anyways, long story short, you just want to make sure that everything you see is blue. If you've got anything, a sprinkle or, you know, a donut or a plate or anything like that, just make sure everything is showing up as blue because that's very important.
Coming up daisies.
All right, so now that's done, I can turn that off. The other thing that you want to check is that you haven't got any rogue objects that will be showing up in the render that you don't want to be there. Like, for example, this weird looking little UFO thing, right? These little sprinkles that are just hovering off into space here. So that is because we've got some sprinkles which are being referenced on our geometry node stack, but we don't want these individual ones which are being referenced to appear in the render. So
How
on
would you
the
do that, though,
sprinkles
if you couldn't see
collection,
them?
I'm just going to uncheck this little camera icon, and that means it's viewable in the viewport, but it's not going to appear in the
Yay!
render. This will not affect the objects over here.
Very
when it's
good.
referenced in a geometry node system, it's just going to treat that as its own separate thing, and it's not going to hide it from the render. But it just means
Cool.
that these 5 little reference sprinkles will be invisible in the render. The other
Let's make
thing that
sure.
you want to check is to look at your
Wait! Sorry. Check. Click camera icon in object. What is this, object manager? I guess. That's what I'm calling it. That's what C4D calls it. That's what I'm calling it. Hide from render. Cool. Go.
sections, okay? Because looking at my donut,
That's
look at
pretty
that.
specific.
Wow,
That's pretty
I've got a massive
What?
intersection. It's invisible in the render. The other thing that you want to check is to look at your intersections, okay? Because looking at my donut, look at that. Wow, I've got a massive intersection. And this would be noticeable because the camera is now moving and it is above it, right? So you don't want to have intersections. So I'm actually going to use this as an excuse to slightly reorient.
Oh, but I don't want to move my donuts.
And create a
How did you do that?
thing, and it is above it, right?
How?
So you don't want to have intersections. So I'm actually going to use this as an excuse to slightly reorient.
Huh? What was that shortcut down there? Middle click, shift, middle click. Huh. Huh. If I select all this, boom, 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 boom. You said middle click, shift, middle click. No. 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 They don't rotate the same. They all rotate individually. How did you do that? How? Are they linked? You have donuts selected in a separate collection, but they're not being rotated as a group. Not to mention the way I made. Whoa! Uh-oh, what's that? Uh-oh, what's that? Uh-oh, what's that? Did I make some extra icing by accident? Oh dear. Well, I'm glad we checked. There's a bad boy in there. We gotta get rid of it. All red must go. All red must die. Oh, I'm gonna regret doing this because I just moved it a smidge and now I gotta. Oh no. Alright, whatever this is, that's an extra boy. Oh! Oh my god! Is that why I have brown and pink icing? Hold on a sec. I need to confirm something right now. Tell me. Is that why my icing is not chocolat? Oh god. Oh god. Oh. Ah! I'm sorry, I'm so animated. I figured it out. For the longest time, I had not pink icing. It was supposed to be chocolate. Wait a minute. If I hide this, would you look at that? Oh my god. I'm so glad we checked. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so how do I get rid of you then? Where are you? Where is this? In my viewport. Oh boy. What is happening? Okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Calm down, Kianna. We don't want brown boy. We want pink boy to go. Bye-bye. I don't think we need this. X. Ah. I did it. Great. And now if I check for clippage, I just want to make sure. That was the one that we rotated, right? That's the one that's off-centered, and we got rid of it. Great. So if I look, is there any clippage? My sprinkle, it's going in a little bit. A little bit of rotate, I think. Methinks. Oh no. See, I don't want it to rotate the whole thing, just the icing. But it does all of it. Wait a minute! Wait a minute. This donut is rotating correctly. Why do none of the other ones do that? Wait a minute. Am I losing my mind? Wait a minute. I'm learning so much. I feel so stupid! Oh my god. Okay. Oh, plate 2. Why is plate 2 in here? Oh, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Okay. Alrighty. We're not going to figure out the sprinkle situation. I don't think we're figuring that out. I was going to be so proud of myself if we got through that too, but no. Oh my god. Alrighty. So why is it that when I... Okay, because it's linked. Can I unlink these just temporarily for a second? And it's not going to... Dang it! I knew that was going to happen. Shucks. Okay, well, how about I just move the camera away from where we were. Oh. Oh, okay. I see. I see. I'm just gonna... Yep. Totally fine. Can't see anything wrong with it. It's all good. It's all gravy. So let's play this animation. It's not perfect, but I really don't care. Oh, we get some stuttering happening in here. Oh my god, and hizzity here. But that is so much nicer to look at than what we had before, because I tell you, this donut was not chocolate. It looked like pink poop. It was not the scene. It was not the look. Alrighty, we fixed it. Great. We had one buggy donut sprinkle left over. Okay. So now, he said check for intersections. I'm gonna look real quick in here. Get out of my camera because I don't want to suddenly move my camera. There has got to be a way to lock your camera. I don't know how yet, and that's gonna bother me at some point. For now, looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good. We should have a little bit of clippage, just a little bit, but not a whole lot. Yeah. This donut's floating a little. Okay. Still floating. Okay. It's still floating, but it's not ever facing the camera, so it's really kind of fine. What does it look like in the render? Shading wise. Oh, you can't even tell. It's fine. Alright, we're good. Perfectionism nitpicks, we don't even need to worry about it. Save that puppy! Oh boy howdy, there was so many little errors that I'm realizing. But now that I do realize that, if I go guh and yeah, I can move my whole donut instead of just everything. That looks so much better. And if I made another one, oh, do I want to try this right now? Super fast because it bothers me so much. I moved these guys back because I wanted a little donut sitting in the front, but every time I tried to move it or rotate it, it did nothing but wrong things. Was it because of that? Because my normals were bad? I think that's why. So since we fixed that, if I were to, oh god, duplicate is what? Shift D? Hell yeah. Oh no, that's just the icing. I forgot we unlinked it. Oh no we didn't. Where did my donut go? Where is my donut? Where is it? Donut. We're still in 10 minutes. No one said this video is gonna be short, just because it's only 30 minutes long. I didn't say that. Taurus. No. I don't know where it went, but we're gonna try a link button. Oh wait, I forgot how to do that. It's linked already. No, it's too much work. Forget it. Go on.
My donuts and create a much more appealing looking stack.
I don't know how he did that.
I was experimenting before I hit the record button, and I thought if I just create, you know, both of these stacks so they're kind of like leaning, and it is above it, right? So you don't want to have intersections. So I'm actually going to use this as an excuse to slightly reorient my donuts.
But when you move them, they all move it together. Wait a minute. He has little buttons that pop up at the bottom. Maybe I do too? Because you're selecting just one donut. I have to select icing and donut. I don't think I have to, but... Guh? Yeah, no, it's fine if I do that. Guh? Huh. Oh, no. Oh! What is that? You saw that, right? What is that? What is that? Extra boy! Is it because I duplicated my icing and I didn't duplicate the donut? Let's go back a tick. Let's go back a tick. I'm gonna hide this. Can I hide it? Go away. No, come back. Hide. Hide. Okay, we're fine. So if I do this, right, and I hit duplicate, I just made another donut. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna float it in the front. Oh god, I really hate this mechanic. Nya. Oh. Nya. Okay. And then, oh no, it's still weird. No. I thought we fixed it. Oh. Erg. Maybe because I'm in here. Why is not my face orientation showing again? Okay, these donuts are fine, I guess. They're clean. They're clean boys. They're safe. No, they're not made of rubies and diamonds. Never mind then. And I thought we were getting somewhere. Okay, forget it. Let me just make sure I didn't actually duplicate this guy again and he's still sitting on top of it. Okay, we're good. Alrighty, save that puppy. Forget it.
And create a much more appealing looking stack, because I was experimenting before I hit the record button, and I thought if I just create, you know, both of these stacks so they're kind of like leaning on each other, and I rotate them a little bit like this, and I take this donut, I could move it out, rotate that, yeah, something like this, there we go, right, and then, oh yeah, I'll rotate this a little bit more.
Goofy! I just had a very animated series of events that I will not replicate. You'll have to watch the stream again. Sorry. But hello, welcome!
But
I'm
really,
eating.
with this many objects on
Delicious
top of each other,
ASMR,
you're
you're
bound to have
welcome.
something that looks a little funky. So just look at it from different angles. I mean, the most important one
Point
is
is,
the
I solved
camera,
a lot
right?
of problems just
Making sure
now
that it
that I've been
is
trying
sensible,
to figure
because
out
we've got a
since we
moving
started
camera.
this
It kind
journey.
of has to look good from multiple angles.
Not all of them, but some of them.
The other thing I noticed also is it would look a lot better if I could see the top of this donut here. So I noticed if I select this stack,
He's
and I
doing
rotate
things
it
that he
like
didn't
this,
explain.
almost like
How
it's
to
on the
how
edge
to
of
how to
that plate
rotate
there,
groups
like the
of
lip, and
things
it's
at
kind
a
of leaning
time.
this way.
It's not as simple
It
as
looks
it looks.
a lot nicer
For whatever reason.
Yeah. See, now I can see the top of that donut,
Unless
and yeah, just feels a lot nicer.
Selected. Maybe
I
it has to be
actually
global.
rotate a little bit further. And
Nope.
Move it up.
Wait.
Rotate this one.
It is
I'll pull
doing
that in
it.
a little bit.
No, it's not. Never mind. Never mind.
And that's pretty good. That's
I
not
can't
bad.
get excited. It's just not gonna work. It's okay.
Right.
Oh, no worries.
There.
Please
so that's
go
a
have
lot
life.
more
I
interesting, and I've
appreciate you
also
popping in, though,
corrected
Goofy.
a lot
Thank
of the
you.
intersections there.
Go deal with
But,
life.
you know, as I mentioned before, guys,
Bye.
this is a tutorial.
I'm not gonna
and
be
I
here
can't
much
fix
longer.
everything whilst
Quote,
I'm
unquote.
running the tutorial. So have a look at your scene and have a look at, you know, the plate. Is there a donut which is hovering above the plate like it is here? Make sure that it's not, or at least make sure that it is not in a place that's noticeable. Because that will not be good, and you'll be I mean, I actually finished the final animation sequence for this tutorial, and then noticed right at the end that one of the donuts was like this, and I just didn't notice it right until I did after
Happens, man.
the render sequence
Can't
was
be
complete.
perfect.
And actually, a co-worker of mine was also working on the scene, helping render some extra sequences, and he didn't notice it either. And we were both like, "Damn, how did we miss that?" Because you just don't go looking for it. So I'm calling it out now because I'm sure a lot of you watching
bud.
have got intersections, and it's good to try to fix it now. Another one to check for is your lighting and your exposure ranges. So first thing I know is that looking at this is good. It's putting a lot of the attention on the donuts, which is great. But this, everything here in the background is just, it's so dark, it's almost hard to see, and it feels a little bit too moody,
I like my lighting.
right? It's almost like a
I feel good about my
Rembrandt
lighting. I'm happy with
painting
my
or
lighting.
something like that.
Thank you
I
very
want it to
much.
feel a little lighter, a little bit more friendly. So on the roof here, on the ceiling of my kitchen, I'm going to shift and then right click to put my 3D cursor there. And then right at that
You're
point,
making more
I'm gonna
lights?
add in an area lamp.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to move it down slightly.
I will
just to
not
make
be
sure it's
doing that
not
because I like
clipping
my lighting
through
very
the
much. I'm going to
surface.
keep it as is.
And then
Thanks, though.
let's go look
Yeah.
at this. So this is what it is with it off. And then if I just increase this, you can see it's just adding a little bit of fill light to the whole scene to just feel a little bit lighter. And
Your
a
donuts
little
are very
less,
exposed, but
yeah,
that's fine.
extreme in its light choice. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, by the way, this power
Nice
value,
warm
there's
sunset
something called the
light I have.
inverse square law that applies to all lights in the real world and in 3D software. It just means that if something is double, like twice as close to something, it means it's going to be 4 times as bright. So what this means is that I've just added in an area lamp, right, at the top of my ceiling, but that's because this is just the size of the box that I've got. If yours is a little bit shorter than this, right, then when you placed it, then this lamp and
be like
this
a heat lamp
energy
sitting
that we've
underneath
just defined here as
at the
10
restaurant, that
watts,
food that's been
is going
sitting
to
out
be
for
a
4
lot brighter.
weeks.
So don't copy
you're
the
just getting
values
to
that
it.
I'm putting here. Have a look at your scene and try to evaluate it and go, is it bright enough? Is it too bright? Do I feel that this fill light is
That
too
helped.
overpowering?
I feel content with
right?
my scene, and
Or
I
is
really
it
don't want to touch it
underpowering?
because I'm scared I'll do
Just
something wrong.
evaluate and try to do it as fairly as you can. And something that I recommend, and this I do a lot of the time for a lot of final renders, is underneath your color management. If you go to view transform, change it from AGX to false color.
Whoa! Now you're speaking my language. I'm down for this. Hang on. Render. Where did you go? Color management. AGX to false color. Whoa! My goodness. Holy crap. That's fun. This is probably horrendous for your eyes to look at. I won't keep it here, but that's fun. Tell me why we're looking at this, though, while I type.
Now, this, obviously, you never want to do for a final render, but this is revealing to you what is the exposure
like a
range
heat source,
of
heat
different
lamp.
parts of
Heat
the
map.
image. Kind of like if you're using a camera and it's got like a zebra thing to like show you which parts are clipping. This is like that, but it's like to an advanced level. Essentially, it's showing you, I mean, I'll put this up from the Blender documentation, but it's showing you what is the exposure range of which parts of the image. And there's no like right or wrong here, but generally speaking, you want to have a nice range because then it's showing there are parts that are in light and then there are parts that are in shadows, and there is a range there so that you can reveal the form. There are exceptions to it, but generally that's the idea. Now, in my case, I want to make sure that really there's very few areas that are in the red or the white. The white means there is actually no information there because it has clipped. So that is not good. It's okay.
Interesting. Interesting. Ooh. I like where you're going with this. You said, excuse me, disgusting burp, false color. It's called false swipe. Leaves you with 1 HP. Cool. Alright. Then, you said white reveals no lighting information. Clipping. Cool. So let's see how much clipping we're working with. Oh, this is going to be awful. Let's see. Oh no, I upset my... Dang it. I didn't mean to move my camera. I swear I hate myself when I do that. Arrgh! Alrighty. Let's see. Wow, this is really hard to look at. Oh my goodness. Okay. Not as much clipping as I thought. Wait a minute. Well, hang on. Wait a minute. No. I don't see any. No. I'm assuming white is your hottest points because that's our highlights. Right? Yeah. No, that's fine. But down here, you're lying to me, sir. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I call false. Ha
For a few areas, right, where there's a few highlights, but generally speaking, you don't want too much. Now, in my case, I think it's a little bit too high, so I'm just dialing it back, and just so that I get most of, the part of the donut where it's hitting the light. It's mostly in the orange to yellow range with a very small amount of red or white coming through. So once I'm happy with that, make sure you change it back to AGX,
really
otherwise
cool,
you'll be
though.
rendering to false color, and that will look horrible. A few other aesthetic choices. I noticed that the pink was a little bit too hot. The saturation does make a difference.
No. Did it
So I'm just
shift
going to
it? No,
dial
we're
it
good.
back to around about a 0.6 value. I also noticed that this yellow color was a little bit too close to mustard, so I'm just going to tweak the hue here just to make it a little bit more exciting, kind of like a banana yellow, right? And
Banana
a little bit brighter as
yellow.
well. Just a little bit more cheerful. The blue I'm going to make a little closer to an aqua, which is a little more funky, a little,
That's
I don't
fine.
know, more interesting, at least to me. The
I'm
base
happy with my
color,
color choices.
this
I really
one
don't
here.
wanna
So
touch this
I
'cause I'm scared.
decided after
big baby mode right
looking
now.
at this and evaluating it, I'm like, I should just
No,
go
I
with the
probably
white
can't.
icing like what I had in my my final render. So just creating a new material, call it white icing, right? And also for the donut, I noticed I forgot to put subsurface scattering on the donut
Crystal eating
itself,
the whole time.
because donut, although it's bread, right, It's not going to have as much subsurface scattering as the icing, but it will have some, right? So I'm going to give it a weight of 1. Radius, make sure that's always set to 1, and then this value here, let's go 0.01, like that, which I think is actually more than the icing that we gave it.
That's nice.
But anyways, it works because it's kind of doughy. We can kind of get
It's
away.
kinda doughy.
Yeah, maybe, maybe I'm having second thoughts
He's
right
hemming
now.
and hawing a lot. I'm
Yeah,
just
we'll
gonna
go
let him work.
0.01. Why not? Make it look a little bit more stylized and cartoonish. The other thing that I can see looking at this is that this part here, right, with these ball sprinkles on it, it's very like high frequency detail, which is just like a technical term to mean like small detail. Like artists always invent terms just to sound smarter than they are. But it looks high frequency, right? And it's a little too high frequency. It's good to have some small detail, but not that small. It's just
maybe
it's kind
less
of gritty, and it's kind of like it's sticking out like a
gross.
sore thumb to me. So what I'm going to do is go to my geometry node setup just for my round sprinkles.
Oh, I know what
here.
you're about to do. See if I
And
can beat
by
you.
the way, also make sure you're looking at the correct one, not long sprinkles.
Oh, wait, can I
Uncheck that
see
little
anything?
pin if you've got it, like I did. And then I'm going to change the round sprinkle scale, dragging down to 1.5. So it's a lot bigger,
Oh,
which
it looks
means
gross
I can
and
use
bumpy.
a different distance min value,
No.
0.002. And
No.
whilst I'm here,
Oh, I got rid of it completely.
I'm
Oh,
also
God.
going to change the distance value
Oh,
for the long sprinkles, because I noticed it was feeling a little too even, the distribution of these, which generally means that with this Poisson distribution, it's using the distance
what
to
you're
make
doing.
sure
I'm
they're
just too scared
all
to touch
perfectly
it.
evenly
I'm gonna leave it
spaced, and it's a little bit,
But I see
it's too
I see-
big,
I see what you're
essentially.
stepping in. I
So
still
I'm
know
going to
what
set
you're
this to
stepping in.
0.004 instead, which means you will have some overlaps and some clipping, but if we use a lower count here in our setup,
It's a huge deal,
like
though.
80 for example, or even lower, right, it should feel a lot more natural, right? It doesn't look like before it was like 200 when it was this was 0.006, and now it's like 30.
I'm
but it still
genuinely too
almost
scared to
feels like
touch
the same
anything
as
in my
what it was
seat.
before, because
Unless
that
it's major,
distance, when
I'm
you
gonna leave
lower
it.
you're getting more sprinkles in there, even though it's a lower sprinkle density. Anyways, technical. Also lower this one because that's just too
High
many. So let's
frequency.
go like 50 for that, and that's pretty good.
I
You
can
can
make
also
this a little bit less.
experiment, like
I
I
agree with you
tried
there.
changing the different, like whether
But I
this
don't
one
remember how to do
has
that.
long sprinkles or whether this one at the top has round. You can play around with these. I went, I think the bottom one I gave long. This one, I'm going to turn it off.
Modifier, right?
So no sprinkles on that one. And just try and get a nice, feel for it. You're just trying to go for something that looks a little balanced in its detail.
there we go.
So you don't have too much repetition across it. So I'm trying to get a nice breakup of like
little bit less.
round, long, none, round, etc. The other thing, since we're talking about
This guy
detail,
on top could be a little less
is
for me.
looking at this, right? This is small detail. This
Yeah.
is small detail.
Wow.
These shapes here, right? This is large detail. Okay, so we've got large and we've got this small detail. We don't have any medium detail. And
I
it's
was
good to
wondering
have
how you were going
variance
to do
across the
that.
scene. Just, I don't know, it's one of the design rules. It just helps things feel a
Yes,
little bit
variation.
more
Fill it
aesthetically
out,
pleasing.
fill it out.
So
Start flexing.
something I saw when I was looking on Pinterest many years ago for one of the old donut series was like you can put bigger sprinkles, like a few big chunky sprinkles
saw
on
them
it,
in the thumbnail.
and
I
it
don't
just
know if I'm
adds
gonna do that,
variance to it,
but I
and it
saw
just
it.
makes it look a lot more appealing. So for that, you could do it using geometry nodes, but I
could.
just do it by hand placing.
Oh,
like,
he's just
3
doing a
sprinkles.
few.
So
Oh, that's
on
cute.
this donut here, shift right clicking on this part of the donut. I'll go into.
All right, sure, I'll humor
here we
you.
go,
I'll do this with
solid
you.
And then Shift A, and then I'm going to add in a UV sphere. Default settings are okay.
Oh, no.
Just going to scale it down
Oh, God.
like that, right?
Wait,
so this is the side.
Remind me. It's a shift, right click? Yeah. Hey. Sphere. Boom. Whoa. It's so big. Way smaller than that. Oh, I see we were seeing the inside of it. That's interesting. 0.075. Oh, God. 0.0075. Okay. 0.5. Yeah, there we go. Alright. That looks good. Yeah, just a big old globby mess. Yeah. It's sitting in there, right? It's not floating, it's sitting. Sure. Oh, my sprinkler is clipping a little bit, I just noticed. Just a little bit. Oh no, but it's gonna rotate everything. And I want Oh no. Ah! Dang it. Did everything. I gotta rotate the donut individually inside of it, don't I? Ah! There we go. Oh, good. There we go. I did it. Are we clipping? We are not. Much better. Okay. Let's do a couple of these. Oh, and it's so high dense mesh. We don't need all that, but I don't know how to fix it. Once you click away, it's gone forever. No! Item. Nope, that didn't do it. Oh, that is so annoying. There's got to be a better way to deal with that. Once you set it, you forget it? No way. Oh, no. Get out of here. Just the sphere, please. Okay, bye. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. I'm just a little frightened. Everything I do is wrong. Everything I do, everything the light touches is bad. Okay. And I want to use less segments. Like 16. And like 8. Yeah. And like 2. Yeah. I'll make another one that's a little bit bigger. That feels good. Just a little bit of variation to spice it up. Yeah, it's like sitting in there like a crater. Very good. Okay, I want to completely do again. It's oh god. No. There we go. Shift, right click, boom, bam, Shift A. Can I get exactly what I just had? Yeah, and I want to make this like 0.5. Yeah, and then one more to seal the deal, somewhere right here. Oh good. There we go. Aha. We're gonna get used to this. It'll be a lot easier going forward. And then something right in the middle. We got 0.2 and 0.5, so let's go 0.3. Yeah. Actually, 0.5 looks enormous. That's, oh, we can't fix it. It's so big now. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, no, we can. This updated. No, it didn't. Never mind. That's relative to the scene of the scale. No. Alrighty. Cool. And I'm going to add a little material to all of these. Is it going to give me the materials I already have to work with? No. Oh, but I already have materials I want. Oh, yay, there we go. This is my pink donut. No, it's my blue donut. Let's make this one gold. I don't see a difference. I don't think that worked. Okay, well, it didn't work. Let's make this one. Some pink. And then we'll leave this guy white. I think that'll be fun. But we'll make it, oh god, I forgot. We have, oh, this is super, oh no. We gotta make this shade smooth, don't we? Yeah, we gotta do that. Okay, shade smooth. Everything is chugging so much. Woo! It's hurting, computer baby. You can do it, honey, you can do it. Alright, this is super, super reflective. Can I adjust my materials now that I've made them? I don't know if I have a place for my materials. I can't see them. Oh, shading. I just want what I like. Give me my good old Cinema 4D material box. Where is it? We'll adapt. We'll make it work. Okay. We're gonna only do this for this one, just to see. I selected it, but it didn't work for the other two. It didn't do anything. This one's got gold on it. This one's got gold on it, but it did nothing. Okay, well, I'm gonna also make this one its own thing. And I'm going to, oh, yeah. Let's see. We have roughness patched in as black and white. White is on completely. What if I made this like a slightly darker gray? It's a little more rough. Oh, this is for my sprinklage. No. Oh, yeah. A little bit more. Oh, rough. Oh, I don't think that matters. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Well, I don't know if I'm good enough at Blender to figure this out right now on the fly. It's fine enough for my materials. We're in a material girl, material world. I could rename this too. That's so much work though. We're gonna move on. For the sake of this example, I just want 1 gold. Give me the gold, boy. This one's gold? It sure isn't looking gold. Why no gold? Oh, there's no material on it. Usually there's material. No, it's there. But it's not. Doing it live, baby. Doing it live. No idea what I'm doing, but we're doing it live. It's very different from actually doing it with a tutorial and doing it by yourself. Learn so much more when you just fuddle around and go, I don't know what I'm doing. But you gotta problem solve to figure it out. Don't ya? Something tells me this isn't gonna render right. Yeah, no, it's just a big old blob. I want my gold. Huh? Oh! That did something. Is this a gold replacement? I don't want that. That's like a marble. Interesting. Why did it pick that? And this is not showing up at all. Why? And yet, something about this feels familiar. Robotic, even. Are you the one? Are you my gold? No. I don't remember enough for when we made these materials, but my geometry nodes are different colors because of some reason that I don't remember. They all have different materials fed and piped into it. This is metallic. This is roughness. Oh, I don't remember why you work and why you don't. For now, we'll just pick another one. Give me chocolate. Sure. And, can I make this one gold? It's still not working. Gold, for whatever reason, is the problem. All of the other ones work. It's just gold. So why gold no work? Is it because it's loading? No, it's there. Can I see? There's usually a material overlay. Can I see? Where's my material overlay? You won't let me see it? Nah, screw it. Alright, fine. Well, we got a nasty chocolate blob sitting on top of that donut. It's a nice, gross looking booger now. Very unhealthy, very saturated. Go on.
As of the sprinkle, quite big. You could imagine it almost as like a gumball or something. It's probably not big enough to be a gumball, but you know what I mean. Like something big, right? Make sure you're using shade smooth. And for the material, sorry if this is like getting too in the weeds, but a lot of people when they're following tutorials, they like to know the exact settings that I used.
No,
so I'm trying to show them all.
I usually do, but I don't today.
Not taking too long. But yeah.
Appreciate you, though.
So I go for like a aqua color. Yeah, like that. And then I want to turn the roughness like all the way down, like that. Cool. And now I just need to duplicate that sprinkle. So duplicate here. And I'll pull it out. And I'm just going to go with 3.
We
could
tried
go
our
for
best.
more, but I'm just going to go with 3. And I'm only going to put it on this donut. I'm not going to bother with the others. I'm going to say this is the special one. This is the one that we want your eye to be drawn to. So this is the one with a little bit more detail than the others. I'm sorry if I'm doing a horrible zigzaggy job of... I could do snapping, but I'm like, it's just too much work to do the snapping functions for this. So I'm going to select
Can't
those
even see
3.
the other ones. That's
Shift,
fine.
select the icing, Control P, and then go keep transform. There we go. So now they're all attached to that. Just in case I move the donut, it's correctly
Wait, what did you just do?
Lifting snapping functions for this. So I'm going to select those 3. Shift, select the icing, Control P, and then go keep transform. There we go. So now they're all attached to that. Just in case.
Huh?
Snapping functions for this. So I'm going to select those three, Shift select the icing, Control P, and then go keep transform. There we go. So now they're all attached to that. Just in case I move the donut, it's correctly done. The final thing I think I changed was the world settings underneath the air and dust for our sky texture. I just dialed it back to around about 0.7. Just a little bit cooler in the lighting, right? As I might remember, I told you, if you go all the way there, it's like the sky just becomes like blue. And if it's too far up, then it becomes yellow and orange or whatever, like kind of too decayed. But, you know, like a 0.7-ish, it just feels a little cleaner in comparison to what it was.
Nice, cool, high.
Awesome. Now we're almost there. I promise you, we're almost there. The one thing that you probably do want to know how to add is depth of field. It adds a lot because every single camera
is
in the real
exactly
world has
how I
depth
did
of
it,
field,
though. Tell me how you did it.
Pinhole cameras, interestingly, because
Very
there is
nice.
no optics in a pinhole camera. So
Very
cameras
nice.
have, like infinite depth of field, supposedly. Anyways, the depth of field settings is underneath your camera. Okay, so select your camera, then click on the data here, and then depth of field right
How
at the
easy
bottom.
it is.
So
Wonderful.
check that box, and everything will become blurry because it doesn't have a focus object yet.
Right.
So click the little eyedropper tool, and then just click on this icing.
It's
this
just like
donut
Ebitron
icing
taught me.
right in the front
Amazing.
here. And there you go. So that is depth of field. It used to be really difficult to do in Blender. I started 20 years ago, and it was this horrible like motion blur thing you had to do for the camera to like rotate it. Anyway, it's just a checkbox now. It's fascinating.
Very nice.
Anyways, the f-stop.
I'm sorry you had to
with
suffer for
cameras,
us.
the lower the f-stop, the shallower that depth of field. So you can see very little of this image is actually in focus.
Did I
so
write those notes
it's
down?
actually
No.
good for like
I don't
miniatures.
think I did.
But if you want more of the scene to be in focus, like you want more of this donut stack to be seen, I would go with an f-stop somewhere between 6 or 8. Something around that range. I think I went with 8 for my final one, or maybe it was 6. Can't remember. Anyways, but you can see the stuff in the background there is now out of focus, and it puts the attention where it should be, right on those donuts in the middle there. And
Very
the
cool.
other thing that I always forget to enable is motion blur. So underneath your render settings here, you just need to check motion blur. And I actually find the default setting is usually fine. It's a little
Huh? Where are you? You're in your render settings. Where is it? It's right here. Ah. But here's the question. Is it motion blur based off your camera? Because none of our objects are moving.
smooth, like it's a little bit too blurry sometimes, so you might want to drop it to like 0.4 or something. But I don't know, it should be defined with the default. It usually looks okay. So, are we ready to render our final animation? Well, I actually thought yes. So that little jump cut
What do you
you saw
mean?
there was me going, yep, let's render that animation. And then I rendered it out, and then I came back and I went,
Looks great.
wait a minute. I've made some errors.
What have you
Bum,
done
bum.
now?
Can you tell what they are? I will give you a clue.
Yes, I see something.
Right here.
There's
right
a couple
here,
sprinkles
right here.
missing.
We're missing those 3 little balls that we created, little sprinkles. And then also, look in the background here. Mysteriously dark. Almost as if the area lamp that we added is not there.
Even there.
So, I'll first of all say, it's
Huh.
very common to do this. You think that you're finally ready, like, yeah, everything looks good, kick off the final animation. I've sometimes waited like over a week for a whole animation to finish, and then I come back, and then I open it up, and then I go, oh no, I forgot to turn off that layer, I forgot to turn on that layer, I forgot, you know.
How
Actually, a
infuriating.
technique that
Happens
Pixar
all the time.
uses, I learned at one of the SIGGRAPH presentations they did. They said they rendered the first frame, the middle frame, and the end frame of every shot before they do the full
That's very smart.
animation sequence, because that usually reveals any problems in the animation, which
That's
they can then correct. So I should have done that, but didn't. Anyways, what was my mistake? Well, when we disabled this sprinkles collection, right? We disabled it from appearing in the render. That's fine, but when we created these objects, I
I
didn't
didn't see you
check
do that.
what was the active collection. So when you add a new object, it adds it to whatever is the
That
selected
sucks. I'm sorry,
collection, this
man.
little one with a little box around it. So obviously it put it inside of that collection. So these spheres should not be inside the sprinkles. So I'm going to drag it out into a donuts collection, which is where it should be. And then this area lamp as well. That's the reason that the background is dark, is because that was inside the sprinkle, so it was hidden from the render as well. So now putting that into the environment, that now should look a lot better. So do a test render just by hitting F12, see how that looks first, what I should have done. I mean, like, even just doing one render could have revealed this problem. It's that obvious.
Yeah, well, you get excited. You just want to see what it looks like in motion.
Check, look, we've got the balls appearing, the fill light is now in the background. And the other thing I noticed, and this is because it's the next day that I'm recording this, when you look at something with fresh eyes, you often notice different things. So I thought that this exposure looked pretty good, but then now having a look at it the next day, I can see that it's a little overexposed. Okay, so if you look at the false color,
it's very,
this
very
is what
bright.
it looks like.
I was gonna say,
and there's just too much orange there. So essentially, I'm going to drop this back to be, so it's like mostly yellow across the front of these donuts here. Well, not mostly yellow, but more yellow than what there was before. There's not really an exact way to sort of pinpoint it, but I could just tell it's a little overexposed. So I'm just dialing it back to be a little more reasonable. Again, your exposure ranges might be different depending on, you know, how close your donuts are to the window or something, but look at it with your own eyes, and if it looks wrong when you're using this exposure range, use a different value, tweak it, and try to make it look accurate. Because actually I was on Discord this morning looking at some of your renders, join Discord if you're not on there, and I was like, okay, a lot of people also have overexposed renders.
Wow,
so
my goodness, yeah.
Anyway,
but that's a tip of trick that you learn with
to
design.
do a render. So again, I am using
oh my god,
no noise threshold.
It's finally time.
Samples, probably get that up to 1,000 if you want it to be non-jittery. Denoise, open image denoise, and then I'm outputting it to TIFFs, just RGB, we don't need alpha, 8-bit, and then I'm just putting it into a folder, which, because I made a mistake, I'm going to put it into another folder. I actually made two mistakes, rendered it twice. I'll put it into a 3, right? That's why I put them in subfolders. Anyways, now that I'm ready, I'm going to go render animation. And this is now kicking it off. I can now leave it, walk away, and it will just start, as it finishes rendering, it'll just start dumping it into the folder. And there you go. So you can see it's rendered 3 frames, so we've got 3 images here. Once it's finished, we should have.
I'm scared to do that because it's going to crash my stream. But if I do that later, I will hopefully do that later.
You will have to watch the final part of this tutorial to learn how to take that sequence and form a video file.
Oh, I already know how to do that. But I'll watch it for you guys.
So click here to watch the final part of this tutorial series.
Oh my god!
Well, you made it.
Whoa! Actually, that looks amazing. That looks delicious. Okay, hold on. Final step. Final stippy step. He said one more thing that I want to write down, which is a very good thing. Rule of thumb. Tip and trick. Render first, middle, and last frame before final render. That's a great tip of advice. Saves probably so much time. I can't imagine how many times Disney or like Pixar, DreamWorks, any movie studio that has this issue where they have to render out so many frames of footage and animation, and if one thing is obscure, somebody's hair follicles could be like a few frames off, and you're just like, well damn, I gotta render the whole thing again. But they also have like 20,000 computers that are set in a render farm, so it probably doesn't take that long. But still, that's insane. Rendering is by far my least favorite process. It's the easiest thing to mess up. It's so easy to do, and then you realize all of your mistakes later on after you've hit the render button, and it takes so much time. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's nice to have a third-party renderer system like Cycles where you can see actively what you're going to get before you hit render. Because a lot of times, at least back in the day, 3D programs, they were just, you didn't see what you got. You would get something close to it in the viewport, but the actual render would probably look vastly different from what you saw. So nowadays, you can kind of look at it and go, oh, okay, it's going to be a cleaner version of that. But even then, there's still like 1 or 2 things that might be off if you finally hit render, and it's just, ugh. So, final compositing. I'm going to guess he's using After Effects. If he is, I already know how to do this. But we'll still watch it because it's always going to reveal tips and tricks that I probably don't know yet. On top of that, maybe he's going to use Nuke or Fusion or DaVinci Resolve. One of those 3. I'm going to go with After Effects.
Videos. So before I show you how to turn the image sequence into a final video, I do want to say congratulations, because everyone says they want to learn new skills, and very few people actually want to put in the time.
You're
So if
right!
you're watching this, you have clearly
should
put in
stop
the time.
watching me and do it
yeah,
yourself.
truly,
Ow.
well done. Now, if you are able to go from this series and then go off and create and get what you want out of Blender, then fantastic.
Cool.
But what I've learned over the years is that there is a percentage of people who want more. They want to know what tutorials to watch next to level up their career. So I am in the process of creating a Blender course for beginners. Special. So this is going to be for you guys, essentially, people who finish this course and then they want more. They want to know how do they do other parts of Blender.
That looks
beyond the
awesome.
donut. So it's not available.
Hold on, look at that lamp. I'm sorry, I can't get over the detail of the grain and the grunge on it, the paint textures. You have to know a lot about vertex mapping, some dust inside the... Damn! I might have to take it. We'll come back to this, but that's nice.
Yet, but I'm looking to release it.
It's not animated, but I would love to see
early
more. I can't hear you. Speak
so
again.
it's not
There we
available
go.
yet, but I'm looking to release it in early 2024 if I can. So if you want to be
past
notified
that.
when it is
Maybe it's
available,
out.
click the link in the description and you can join a separate email list just for this course to be notified once it is available. It's not going to be...
Wait. I just want to see. I'm gonna join the wait list. Don't look at this. Yeah, I'm gonna join the wait list. Yay! I can't spell my name. Oh, this is awesome. Look at this man go. Make more money for yourself, why don't you? You need to be more loaded. It's only fair. I love it though. Oh, do I want to be... Yeah, I'll join the wait list. Alright, cool. Thanks.
free. It is going to be a paid course, but it is
it's
for
paid.
people who really want to take this seriously
Fair
and
enough.
make a career out of it. That is for
That's
you.
fair. That's fair.
So,
Yeah.
with that out of the way,
Just means I
now
can't share it
on
with
to the
you guys,
tutorial.
sadly.
If you followed the last part correctly, you should find inside this folder
Whoa!
160 TIFF files, which
Yo!
are, you know, you can open
I have
them
240
individually and look at the
rendering
images,
now.
but if you want to create a video,
even longer.
and this is what you do. If you're using this as part of another video project, then you might be using software like Premiere. I know that's not all of you, but I'll just quickly show you for those who want to use Premiere instead.
He's using
You
Premiere,
just click
okay.
on the first image and then check image sequence. That'll import it and then just drag that into a new sequence, and there you go. And then you can just export that as you would anything in Premiere or edit it, etc. But if you want to use Blender, if you want to go the free route, there is actually a video editor inside of Blender. Now you can access it from inside here, but I actually find it easier and better to just create a new Blender instance. So for that, I go File, New, and then you can go
I have
General,
no
but
render
actually if you go
file, so we're just
video
gonna watch
editing,
this.
Then that will just set it up for
only
you,
11
ready
minutes.
to
We'll
go. And
breeze
it'll
through
just,
this, no
it
problem.
saves a bunch of
Huh.
time. This isn't like a special version of Blender or
Whoa!
anything when you choose this. Like if you want to use, you know, the standard Blender layout
that's
or
so
whatever,
cool.
it's
Hang
still
on,
there.
what?
You go create a new
I probably will just prefer an Adobe product because it's what I've used my whole life. That's cool.
Blender instance. So for that, I go File, New, and then you can go General, but actually if you go Video Editing, then that will just set it up for you, ready to go, and it'll just, it saves a bunch of time. This isn't like a special version of Blender or anything when you choose this. Like if you want to use, you know, the standard Blender layout or whatever, it's still there. It's just, it's created this video, like this screen layout and everything is already configured and ready to go
That's
for you.
neato.
Anyways, so down here, this is your video editor. This is the sequence.
See?
as
This
it's
is
called,
why
and
we're
then up
watching
here
it.
is gonna
'Cause
show
it's
you
something
the
new
video
I didn't
that it's,
know.
displaying. So the first thing we need to do is load in that image sequence. So Shift A hotkey works all over Blender. Choose image sequence. Navigate to that folder where you have all of these TIFF files. And unlike Premiere where you select the first one and then import that, this one you need to select all of them. So the hotkey is just A to select everything. Hotkeys work everywhere across Blender. And then go Add Image Strip. Aha. Now you can see we've got this strip at the bottom here, and if we hit the space bar, we should see at the top the image sequence playing. Awesome. Now it looks a little slow, and you'll see actually in the top left-hand corner it's playing at 24 frames a second, and that's
It's
because although we
dancing
set it
between
up
24 and
as
26.
30 frames a
But yeah.
second, we just rendered that into the image sequence. It doesn't know what the frame rate is. The only reason we did that was so that when you're playing the animation in the viewport, it's actually at the correct speed. But to set it up here, you set your frame rate here from 24 to 30. And now if you play it, you'll see it's going at 30 frames a second. It's a little faster, it's a little smoother, and it looks good. Great. Now you can see it just kind of ends, right? Just goes into like blank nothing.
Right.
And we don't want that. I want to really hold on this end frame because this is the important frame where all the donuts are revealed.
I do appreciate we're just animating,
really
we're just
easy to
rendering the
extend
animated
last
frames.
frame.
And then you can just
click
extend
on
the last
end
frame.
of that strip at the bottom there till it lights up white, and then you can either click and drag out or hit the hotkey G to grab, and we can just move it all the way to the end. So 250, that's what the final, like the frame range here is, right? If you want it to be longer or shorter, you can change it there, but I'm going to keep it at 250. So that means now it gets to the end, and then it just holds here and lets you soak in those donuts.
That glaze is
Cool.
really satisfying,
And
actually.
this is fine. You could export this.
I might change
but
that
I
yellow to
also
a
just
white
want to
glaze.
have a nice fade out at the end
Nah, I
because
won't.
why not? Just learn about something in the video sequence editor. To do that, I'm going to go Shift A and then add in a color. And the color is already set up as black, so that's
You're gonna
fine.
add a black fade.
So I'm just
That's
dragging
nice.
it over the end here.
How did you do
And
that?
you can learn about this. But I also just want to have a nice fade out at the end because why not? Just learn about something in the video sequence editor. To do that, I'm going to go Shift A and then add in a color. And
Everything
the
is
color
Shift A,
is
that's
already
very
set
nice.
up as black, so that's fine. So I'm just dragging it over the end here. And you can see it just jumps to the color because that's now over the top of that other strip. So it's reading top to bottom, so it's black is over the top. And instead of it being a jump cut to black, we obviously want to fade it. So to do that, just click that strip there, and then say Shift A, and then say Fade in.
Ooh.
And you'll see it's
you
hard to
control the
read
fade
here
in?
from this because it's got like black at the bottom. But there is actually, can I do that? I'm using the same hotkey Control middle mouse button as when we're using the graph editor. But you can see there is like a slight, like a little ramp up like that. That's just showing you it's fading in. But there you go, that's the fade in effect there. And what that is doing is it's just created a keyframe animation for this opacity slider to just do a very quick fade in there. But there you go. So now that's it. That's what we want. This is what we want to
Very basic,
form
but
into
very
a
simple.
video file, which we could upload to YouTube or Instagram or whatever. So to create that, here in your output settings,
Export.
you want to again choose a folder that you want to save it to. I usually save it inside of the folder with the frames, and I just call it video. And then
Very,
say
very
accept.
professional.
Now, because we set this up as a new video editing file, it's automatically set the file format for us as
What the heck is MPEG video? Oh dear.
And this is actually the most flexible. I've never needed AVI JPEG or RAW. It just creates those ginormous gigabyte files that you can never do anything with anyway.
Yeah.
So FFmpeg is the one you want because it's got the most options.
Is it like MP4?
And go underneath encoding,
It is
and this is where you'll
H.2.64.
find
We love
all
that.
of your video settings for encoding. So the
264 is
container,
very
that is
flexible.
your, like, think of it as the file extension, right? So if it's a .mov file, that would be QuickTime.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a .mkv file, that annoying format that Premiere can't read, and it's supposed to be better than
So much baggage coming
MP4s,
out.
but nothing can read it except VLC. Anyways, that would be Matroska.
What?
Matroska is the one. WebM,
Matryoshka
that's
dolls?
like a format that is becoming more common online. You could use that.
I don't
Anyways,
get
we're
it,
going to
yeah.
use MP4, so that's MPEG-4, because that's the most common one that most people need.
My mouse finally
Video
died.
codec, we're going to leave it at the default
like it.
H.264 is
Well.
fine. Now, if you're used to like all these settings of bit rates and all that, you can go into that just by setting like constant bit rate, and you can change all this. But I usually just choose one of the, think of these as like presets, right? So high quality is probably good enough for most people. If you want to go even higher quality, perceptually
got a
lossless
battery.
will mean
It's okay.
it's almost the highest quality possible, so there's
There
no
we go.
loss.
No, still got some life left in it. It's been
Lossless
blinking red
would
for
put
3
it
months.
at no loss at all, so it's like the highest quality. I don't think you ever need that. Like, perceptually lossless is probably fine for like more than every case you would need, right? So, perceptually lossless. And that's
Pretty
it.
self-explanatory. Cool.
Audio. We don't have any audio. If you wanted to, you could add in sound here if you wanted to.
Ooh.
We don't have audio, so I'm going to set the audio codec to no audio. I don't think it makes a difference to the output, but anyway. And that's it. So now what do you do to export this? The same as before, it's render animation. And what this does is it just chews through those frames in the sequence. And you can see at the bottom there how fast it's going. And it's going to fade out. Boop.
Beautiful.
And that's it. So
the render that took
the
3
reason
months
I did that, by the
probably
way,
only
is
took 3 minutes.
Because how would it know not to
3
render from the
seconds
camera?
even.
Because we just said render animation. It's because
Oh, yes.
in your where is it?
That's a good
Way at the
point.
bottom there on my face. We've got post processing and it's set to sequencer, right? And if it detects anything in your sequencer, if it detects anything in this strip here, it will then render this instead of what is in the camera.
Oh.
So that's how it knows to use those frames instead of render. Anyways, all
Cool.
to say, look, we have
Yeah!
our video. Playing nicely. Hold. Oh, soak it up. Look at them donuts. Fade out.
Oh, good, beautiful
So,
cone
well
on the
done.
back.
You did it. Congratulations. You made it to the end of the series. If you want a challenge,
What?
why not create some donut variations? You could change the color of the icing.
Get
and
outta here,
mold
these
some
American nasty
star-shaped
donuts.
sprinkles, and then you've got a patriotic donut scene.
Hell no, I hate America.
You
I want to
could
get out of
use
here
the
so
Polygon
bad.
add-on to import some of our free
Those look great,
candles,
though.
and then some moonlight for a moody
No, thank you.
candlelight donut scene. You could experiment with some
Oh,
different
my.
marble textures. There's a lot there. You could make the sprinkles
Some
gold. You
high-class
could add in some
donuts.
whiskey glasses, a serving board for a high-class, expensive donut-looking scene.
You're throwing hints
you
at me,
could
brother.
decorate it with fruit and palm tree models for a tropical-themed donut scene. Or you could add in some pumpkins,
Ooh,
change
that
the
looks a
colors
nice
around, and you've got
texture.
a fall-themed donut scene. There's a lot that you could do. So have a stab. Have a go at it and try to elevate this
I
and make the
like your
donut scene your
suggestion,
own.
but I
'cause that's
have
where the
other
real learning
objectives
comes
to
in.
do.
Otherwise, thank you so much. for
Music
watching, and we'll see you in a
outro!
future video.
Is that it? It's over! Yes, we made it! We did it! My sanity is still intact. Oh. Okay, so, guys, what I think we're gonna do, I cannot promise, but I would like to attempt to render this, and I'll tell you all about how horrendous the process was off stream, because if I try to render it right now, it'll probably crash everything. But what I will do is next time, not guaranteed because I have an event going on next Sunday, so I may have to cancel next stream, but next time, ideally the week after, we are going to come back to the anatomy. The reason for the very start, this detour was entirely for the reason that we were going to learn anatomy in 3D through Blender, which now if you learned it with me, you know Blender too. And hopefully my yakking and all of that was not too atrocious on your ears, but if you want to take all those notes that I just took, you can use them all on my Patreon for $3 only, as well as lots of other videos that I've been trying to work on in the background. There's a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, jump over to my Patreon for extra goodies, and if you want to take all the notes that I just wrote down, you can have them for $3. Anyway, so yeah, we're coming back to the anatomy, and we're going to be learning it through Proco, through a series that I'd like to call Proco Revisited. So basically, if you care at all about learning anatomy, from the very, very beginning, I started this Proco journey about 2016, 17, about 10 years ago almost. Basically when Proco came out. And I have now since completed that course. All of my journey through the legs is documented on stream. And if you want to learn it with me, you can learn through an expedited process, which I have some highlight videos up on a separate channel called Just the Crystal Library. Nix the streams. You can get that link downstairs if you want. I've had to pause the highlight videos for now because I just have so much on my plate and I don't really have an editor. So that's what you get. But if you want to see everything I've done, I've basically done the legs down for the anatomy journey. The point is, now that we've finished my entire course on Proco, I can hopefully help you guys learn anatomy on your own because it's a lot. It's a lot. But I can basically take all of the assets and all of the stuff that I've learned, all of the things that I've already completed, and just add to my knowledge on a second time through. So we're going to be using Blender as a separate entity and conduit for learning anatomy, because say this is a picture of an arm. This is the front side of the picture, but through Blender, we can turn it around and see the other side of the picture that we don't have access to, which is really going to test my anatomy knowledge and hopefully yours as well. So if we know all about the extensors, we got to know what's on the other side. Flip it around. Now we need to know about the pronators and all of that stuff, as well as for every single part of the body. So coming hopefully either next week or in 2 weeks, we're going to be starting with Proco all over again. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for anybody who jumped in on this journey, even though Blender and 3D is not exactly the bread and butter of this channel. It's still an essential skill that I want to learn, and I want to learn a lot of 3D going forward. But for now, we're using it as a conduit to learn anatomy. And after human anatomy, animal anatomy. And then who knows after that, creature design is really where I'm trying to go. ZBrush, Maya, all that stuff, just to 3Dify characters and make them realistic. That's where I live. So we're gonna end it here, but I will hopefully see you either next week or the week after. So until then, PLD, PLD, keep playing, keep loving, and keep dreaming. And I will see you guys hopefully in 2 weeks for my first step at Proco Revisited. You'll see a video about it. See you soon, guys.